You ever want to run from the law in the world of the Wild West? Then you're gonna love this brand new ttrpg. Welcome to Dice Anvil. If you've been to this channel before, you know that I have been working on game design, and I've made my own ttrpg that's officially, the alpha version is done. You can find it for free on this channel. But it's not the first one I've made. The game that I'm showing you guys today is one that I've made before I made Trichonomist, and might I say, I really like this one. This game is called Greed or Glory, and it is based in the Wild West, and you're gonna play as an outlaw. It's a simple ttrpg, only has 2 pages of rules and a character sheet that comes with it. All you need are the standard die for a ttrpg, poker chips, and some playing cards, and you're good to be immersed into this world of the Wild West. I'm gonna give it to y'all for free. I'm going to go through the rules, the mechanics, and show you guys what I designed. So if you will, please like and subscribe. I made this about 2 years ago, and I'm pretty proud of the way it looks. It's on this dirty paper. There are like vintage drawings on there. The character sheet is on a Cowboy Wanted poster. Every single player will play as an outlaw in this world. You'll be able to draw a picture of what your character looks like in the middle, and you'll be able to write the reward that your character is worth. It might go up throughout the game, and that can be exciting to keep track of. Let's go ahead and go through the gameplay. Let's go ahead and set down the groundwork. How does this game work? What are the basic mechanics used? Let's go ahead and start with skill checks. When a PC is attempting an action with a questionable outcome and possible consequences, they will need to roll to measure their level of success. The PC will roll the die that is assigned to the skill being used. The PC's die will have to beat at least one of the 2 challenge dice from the dealer or the GM. The GM is called the dealer because they're not only rolling the challenge dice, but they're also handing out cards or poker chips throughout the game. Just a cool little touch. The dealer's challenge dice consists of a D6 and another die that is dependent on the difficulty of the action. A D4 being easy and a D12 being near impossible. Unless there is a notable reason for adjusting, both dice are D6 by default. The reason you have a D6 and another die is because I think if you roll higher than a 6, you should be rewarded for that. Even if you don't beat the second die, I think there should be a way to measure success there. So I kind of like that. If you beat both die, it's a perfect success. If you beat just one die, it's a partial success or failure, depending on what you're doing. And if you beat 0 dice, it's a complete failure. Very simple, very fast. It takes 2 seconds for the GM to think about, okay, what would the challenge die be for this? And if they can't decide, then it'll just be 2 D6s. The character will roll their own die associated with their skill. We'll get into the skills in a minute, but real quick, let's get into the poker hand. In the beginning of the game, each player will receive 5 poker cards. A player will have the opportunities to build a winning hand and reveal it at any point. The player will be able to discard any cards and redraw that amount after accomplishing a task associated with their goal, drinking, or as a reward. Same way you hand out hero tokens or inspiration, you can throw them another card out of the deck just to help them out maybe. So why are you trying to build this hand? Well, let's find out. If you have a royal flush or a straight flush, which take a while to get, so if you want to wait it out and try to test your luck, try to get a royal flush or straight flush, you can turn those over, turn in those cards, and upgrade a skill. Which just means if you have let's say you had strength, a D6, if you had a royal flush or a straight flush, you can upgrade that to a D8. You also got other winning hands, full house, flush, or straight, and you have little descriptions of what they can look like right there. These will be automatic successes. So if you want to cash in your cards, reveal your cards, and it's a really important roll, you don't have to roll for it. You go ahead and lay down those cards and you're good to go. You might find that playing this game can be simple, so adding the poker card hand to the game helps enhance the experience, helps you drive and go to something. Like you're going to be wanting to accomplish things associated with your goals so that you can draw more cards. Let's talk about combat. If the PC engages in combat, the character involved will roll aim to determine the order of turns. Each character will have 3 actions. It will consist of the actions below. And below I have a list of actions here. You can read them if you'd like. But basically it covers pretty much anything you can do during combat, but you can do 3 of those actions below. By the way, aim is one of those skills that we'll talk about later. Gunslinging. When shooting a target, the PC will make an aim check, similar to any other skill roll. If the PC beats one challenge die, then they hit. And if they beat both die, they hit their exact target, a possible instant kill. If I'm dueling a person but I'm aiming for their gun specifically, if I beat both die, I shoot the gun out of his hand. Or if I want to hit him in the head, I can go ahead and aim for his head instead. When someone shoots at the PC, it's luck versus the shooter's aim. Every PC has a specific aim skill dependent on the NPC. So yeah, whenever someone's shooting at you, you'll go ahead and roll luck, and you're rolling that die versus their aim die. Dueling an enemy will require a PC to roll aim. If they get a 6 or more, they hit, and luck against the PC's aim. When you duel, there are 3 rolls happening. You're gonna roll your aim and your luck. Very cool, very fast, very deadly. You can expect to get hit while fighting in this game. It's relatively easy to kill other people, like how gunfights should be. If you hit someone really good, you can expect them to die, and people will die left and right in this game, and it makes the game very exciting. Let's look at the character sheet real quick. As I said before, this character sheet is on a wanted poster of your character, because every character here is a criminal. At the top, you can put the PC's name alongside your player's name. In the middle, right there on the top, you got a section that's blank. What is that for? It's for you to draw your character on the character sheet. Every time I play this game, the players love to draw their character on the character sheet. You can be creative with how you do it. Some people make it goofy, which is totally fine. Whatever makes you have the most fun. On the left side of the character's drawing, you got the age, sex, hair, skin, eyes, and build, and then a unique trait that you can put for your character to have. On the other side, you got the skills that I was talking about, and these skills are pretty unique. We got wit, which is how smart you are, obviously. Grit, which is your strength and durability. Aim, which is obviously how good you are at gunslinging. Luck, good for not only finding things, but also dodging bullets. And you got charm, which is your charisma. Beneath that, you got your goal, which is important for drawing new cards, but also for role-playing. What is your character trying to accomplish? Underneath all of that, you got the reward for your character's head. Dead or alive or both, that's to be determined during character creation. Also beneath that, you can say what you're wanted for, which we'll find out in just a second during character creation. And under that, we got all the slots for inventory. What I want to talk about is on the very bottom. You got a bunch of pictures of poker chips down there, and right above them you got descriptions of their health. What does that mean? Well, poker chips are the way we measure health in this game. At the beginning of the game, you'll have a green poker chip, which signifies that you are healthy, you're good to go. But if something happens to you, then you might get handed another poker chip to place on top of that one and signify that you are no longer healthy. More information about that later, but if you don't have all these poker chips, then feel free to just have some other kind of token, maybe a coin, to put on top of the poker chips and just move it around as your character heals or gets hurt. Next up is character creation. Now, I want it to be fast and fun to when you're creating a character, especially since this game is mainly aimed towards one-shots or really short adventures. So you're able to create a backstory and an idea how your character acts through this character creation process. Let's go ahead and start with skills. In the top half of the PC sheets are 3 main sections: appearance of the PC, drawings of the character, and the skill section. 2 d4s are rolled for each skill, and they may switch dice between skills once. So what you'll do is you'll go down the line and you'll go ahead and roll for each skill. So I'll start with wit. I'll roll 2 d4s. I got a 1 and I got a 3, which means I got 4 overall, which means I get a d6 in my wit. And I do the same thing for grit. I would go ahead and roll. I got a 2 and a 3. So I got a 5 when rolling for grit, which means I also get a d6. So now I'm rolling for my aim. I got a 1 and I got a 1. So unfortunately, I got a 2 when rolling for my aim, which means I get a d4 in that. So let's say I finished out all of the skills, but I decide maybe my aim is more important than my wit. So what you can do is only once switch the die between 2 skills. So then my wit would become a d4 and my aim would become a d6, and I'm happy. Next up is crime, the most important part of an outlaw. How did you become an outlaw? During character creation, players will roll to determine the crime the PC did. Again, you'll roll 2 d4s and refer to this. We got grave robbing, smuggling, mugging, robbery, arson, murder, and mass murder. Every PC is an outlaw and has a reward for the man that can turn them in. either dead or alive. You'll roll a d4 here. If you roll a 1, you're wanted dead. If you get a 2 or 3, you're wanted dead or alive. But if you roll a 4, then you're wanted alive. The starting reward is the crime roll times 2 d10s. This part's a little bit complicated, but I wanted to feel like the more intense the crime was, the higher the reward should be. If you want to, you can add a couple more digits to make it more dramatic. Maybe $105,000 is more up to your speed. Next up, we got the goal. Each PC will have a goal selected by rolling 2 d4s. A PC may redraw poker cards by completing an action directly related to the goal. Like I said before, you're rewarded for accomplishing your goal. Let's see what the goals are. We got loyalty, diplomacy, glory, greed, dominance, revenge, and bloodthirst. So the more common ones obviously will be glory or greed, which are the names of this game. It makes the game more interesting. Let me know what you think about that. Next up, we got health. I talked a little bit about this before. There are 6 levels of health: healthy, tired, shaken, bloody, crippled, and dead. The levels of health are represented by either a certain colored poker chip given to the player or the player tracking it on their character sheet. A punch could take a PC down most levels naturally: healthy to tired, and tired to shaken. Some events, like a bullet wound, may skip several levels, from healthy to bloody. Obviously, you get shot in the back, you're not going to just become tired. You're going to become bloody. For the most part, it'll probably be progressive, but if the narrative story calls for something maybe more intense as a consequence, then they'll probably hand you a red poker chip to signify that you're not just tired, you're not just shaken, you're bleeding. Here I also got a chart, mainly for the GM to refer to when trying to figure out what the cause of a certain attribute would be, what the recovery necessary for that would be, and how it would affect the character. Next up is the inventory. I'm very happy about how this inventory turned out. Each PC sheet has a section dedicated to holding items used in the game. When a PC wants to store an item, they will store it and use up open slots. In your pockets, you have 4 squares, and in the belt, you have 8. So those are inventory slots. 1 slot means that it can fit in your pocket, like coins and maybe some bullets and stuff like that. 2 slots means it can fit in one hand, like a gun or a map. 3 slots means it has to fit in 2 hands, like a rifle or a bag. These are kind of loose rules. It's just a fun way to track and decide what's worth holding on to. A PC may have a satchel or bag that can store items within its own slots. If you want to use 3 slots to use for a bag, you can add a couple more slots in there too. Like maybe you can put things in the bag to refill those 3 slots, but also have 3 extra ones in there too. Obviously, the GM's got to look out because they might try to use the infinite bag loophole, which one of my players did one time, and it was funny, but I was like, oh, that's an actual problem. So officially in this video, I'm saying you can only hold 2 bags at a time, even if a bag's inside of a bag. That makes no sense. That's officially in the rules now, so show them this video if they don't believe you. And there you go, that's Greed and Glory. You might notice it's not in the description below. Well, that's because I'm officially announcing that the diceanvil.com website is up right now. There you'll find free RPGs that will be coming out, articles and reviews. We got Trichonomus on there, we got Greed or Glory on there, tons of other ones that are going to be coming out for free, absolutely free to download in that website, diceanvil.com. But this, my friends, is an invitation. For a long time, I used to have these games sitting in my computer doing nothing, and I got sick of that. That's why I started this channel in the first place, is to share my creation. I said from the beginning of this channel that I want to build a community. I want to give you guys the opportunity to take the spotlight. I want to talk about the TTRPGs that you guys have made. There's a ton of links in the website for you guys to send me a message talking about your TTRPG, and I'll put it on here for other people to see and to play and to talk about. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please check out the website, like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the new year.